All right, so if you don't want any spoilers, you have not read the book, go ahead and scroll. Just go ahead and scroll up, scroll down, whatever. Because we about to talk. So I'm at the place in the book where you see the reality of what is called maternity homes. So I looked up, like, is this book based on a real life person? Sadeqa is known for writing historical fiction. I have read Yellow Wife. I'll admit, Yellow Wife took me through emotionally. This one is not as bad. Matter of fact, in a previous video that I will not post in real time, I'm posting this one in real time, but I literally felt like I was on a ride. I was going, wee, wee, wee. That Geico commercial. And then all of a sudden it dropped. Like, it's like you got thrown out of the car and didn't know what happened. That's what I feel like now. Because the way it starts. Now, granted, with Ruby's side, it was a little bit more traumatic. It was a little bit more going on versus Eleanor. It was like a sweet, savory ride. And then all of a sudden, the bottom falls out. So I looked it up. It's based on her grandmother who got pregnant at 14 and had a baby at 15. So Ruby is 15, destined to go to college. She's actually in a program where she can get a full ride because I got to get out of here. I'm not going to be like my mom who had me at 15 and she's not a mother. She's not trying to be a mother. And I'm going to be the first one in my family to go to college. She actually wants to study, and I can't say it right. I'll put the name up here, but it's pretty much an eye doctor. Then you have Eleanor, who's already in college. She's been in college for 2 years, and she is studying to be an archivist. And both of them meet someone that they feel like they're not good enough for. That's where their stories definitely parallel. End up falling for someone that they think, I'm not good enough. Maybe this is not even worth it. Both men are madly in love with them, a boy and man. William, madly in love with Eleanor. Shimmy, madly in love with Ruby. Shimmy is Jewish, a white Jewish boy, and Eleanor can tell from the jump, this ain't it. But she's drawn to him. And sadly, one of the reasons why she's drawn to him, because she feels wanted. She's tired of the cat calls. She's tired of boys just being nice because they want to cop a feel. Like, I don't think people understand some of the things that women, especially voluptuous girls, go through. That they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for this figure. So you can't be man enough not to respect her boundaries and respect who she is as a person. You got to be saying crazy stuff. And how the grown men came at her. Granted, this book is written in the 1950s, but this has happened in the 90s, in the 2000s, in 2026, and it's sad. So I'm at the part where Ruby, despite her aunt's efforts to try to get her to get rid of the baby through some concoctions, they end up at this house at the prompting, and not even at the prompting, more like being coerced by Shimmy's mom, who finds out, not only are you sneaking this black girl in this ice cream parlor at night, he blurts out to you, she's pregnant and we're getting married. She said, you will do no such thing. So she finds out about these maternity houses, which I just looked up. I knew about maternity houses. I wish I could tell you the story behind it, but I'm not at liberty to share. So maternity houses, again, are for basically expectant mothers who are facing crisis pregnancies, homelessness, and unstable living conditions. And there's one in Greenville, South Carolina called St. Clara's Home. I wonder if there's a documentary on things like this. The Sanctuary of Unborn Life is called Soul, is in Charleston, South Carolina. You have the Life House in York, South Carolina. And if you know any of these, I would love to know. A Place of Us Ministries in Greenwood, South Carolina. And Florence Crittenton, that is in Charleston, South Carolina. So basically, then they had other places that have like the National Maternity Housing Coalition, the Birthright of Columbia, and Good Counsel Homes. Now, keep in mind, this maternity house, it sounds safe, right? I'm not married. I'm able to have this baby and give it up for adoption. The thing I did not understand, so I just typed in, are the adoptions for maternity houses legal? And they admit that they are perfectly legal in the U.S. as long as they follow the state laws. I'm at a scene in the book, and I'm at it took me so long to get to the scene. Ruby's at this maternity house because the brochure looks so shiny. I'm going to be able to focus on my studies. Shimmy's mom says, because you got to get away from him. I will make sure you have a full scholarship to Cheney. That's the school she wants to go to. She's kind of skeptical. She says, I'm on the board. I can make it happen. Don't worry about it. I will take care of it. You stay away from him. Give this baby up. Don't speak that you ever knew him. I will make sure you get the scholarship. So she notices immediately when she gets there, this is not what the brochure says. Matter of fact, they make it seem like they're going to focus on their studies and become these enriched women who will walk away with skills. And come to find out, the majority of the day they're spent cleaning the house, working on skills. They only spend 2 hours of the day working on their lessons and their schoolwork. 2 hours. So then I looked up this article, which I'm debating whether I want to stop the video. And it talks about, this is actually NPR News, and it's what are maternity houses and their legacy is checkered. So I want to read some of the quotes that I came across. Maternity houses also have a fraught history of trauma, secrecy, and shame. In the 3 decades before Roe versus Wade legalized abortion, which you know has been reversed nationwide, many unwed pregnant women and girls were sent to maternity houses where they were often coerced, surrendering their babies for adoption. They said between the end of World War II and 1973, it became what's called the baby scoop era, where more than 1.5 million Americans were surrendered for adoption. There's an untold number of mothers who were sent away to maternity homes giving birth. Then one lady was interviewed. She said, I told her about her dad and what a great guy he was, and I had no way to take her home. It was very traumatizing. Basically, this woman was allowed to spend time with her baby, and then the baby was taken away. I want to get down to another quote that I thought was very important. And this wasn't in our country. This was happening all over the world. The religious elements, because I read this article already. For some women, the religious element of maternity homes compounded the shame they were made to feel. They described mistreatment at the hands of the nuns, priests, and ministers and staff. We had sinned and broken the rules of society. Wilson Bartigabo said. There was another quote that talked about the trauma they had coming home. Yeah, many women struggled later with relationships as well as their physical and mental health. Some feasters said, found it very painful to hear a baby cry. Now, there's a scene that's where I took a break and was like, I'm going to get back to this tomorrow. Where basically Ruby finds out real quick this is not what it's supposed to be. They're expected to clean. She notices her housemates and other women in the house, they're putting rags around their knees so they wouldn't be hard on their knees. They're scrubbing, and while they're scrubbing these floors like they're maids, borderline like a slave labor, they're required to say the Lord's Prayer and say it loud because make sure that he hears you because you sin loud, so you need to say the Lord's Prayer. Nothing about the Bible says that we have to do stuff to repay for the sins that we did. Nothing about the Bible. So there's nothing biblical about what these women are doing. There's nothing. Now, let's be real. This is what's happening in this book with House of Eve. I don't know if this is happening in these different houses that are currently now in South Carolina. I would love to hear people's stories. Like, this is something people need to talk about. Because even now, because Roe versus Wade has been reversed, and we have all these laws in our government, which is why you need to register to vote and you need to vote, are in place. They're saying there's a reemergence of these maternity homes because of the different laws that are in place when it comes to abortion. So, y'all, Ruby is feeling some type of way because even one girl said, I'm not giving up my baby. Not realizing you are going to give up your baby. They're going to force you to give up your baby. This also takes me back to Black Cake because the mom, I can't remember her name. I'll put it in the video when I go to post this. She went through this. She was in a maternity house because of the incident that happened to her. So how you're able to see this in different places and the connection, because that's how her daughter and her son find out about their older sister. She had their older sister in a maternity house. Y'all, like, this is cruel and unusual punishment and unnecessary. Because one of the things Ruby's aunt said, not mom is trifling. Her aunt says, we don't have no relatives to send her away. Because some people, they just send you away. That you had some relatives up north, you just went away, had the baby up there, and then eventually people came down like, nothing just happened. But nevertheless, if you didn't have that, or you just want this person to go away, because one of the girls in the maternity house with Ruby, she's well off. She comes from a well-to-do family, but they were not having her having this child out of wedlock. Even Eleanor, when Eleanor found out she was pregnant, William immediately proposed to her, but at the same time, his mother was like, we need to get married like now, because you're pregnant, and we cannot bring shame on our family. We're not doing that. Like, the way women were ostracized for making the same decision that a man made with her, but she's the one that's facing this. It's so much more I want to get into this, and that's why I tell my girls, just be very careful if you decide to go there, even though I really don't want them to go there. For my Christian faith, we should not be going there, but I look like a hypocrite, I know, because I have a son. Nevertheless, this is why I understand what my mother said. It is very important to wait until you get to a place where you're emotionally, physically, socially, spiritually in a place to handle all the ramification that comes with this. Ideally, you should wait until marriage. Ideally. Nevertheless, I struggled having a child at 26. Not as though I had trouble with my childbirth or pregnancy, but there were some things emotionally I went through at 26 with my child. So imagine what you would go through at 15, 14, 13, 16 years old. That's why you have to be careful when you decide you want to make some adult decisions. But at the same time, if I make a mistake and make an adult decision as a child, I should be loved through this, not ostracized and ridiculed and traumatized like these women are in these maternity houses.